And I kind of offhand said, Jatavian Sanders wants to be the next Greg Olsen. And it was part of a different conversation, so I kind of just breezed by it. And I thought, how would a Panthers fan react to that? If just casually somebody says, hey, your 4th-round pick wants to be the next all-time leading receiver at his position in franchise history by a couple thousand yards. Wants to be one of the most beloved people in franchise history. Wants to be somebody that still has a strong connection to the area and the fan base. He's had all of one rookie minicamp, and he's already set his sights on the top of the tight ends in Panthers history. Him or Wesley Walls, meaning Greg Olsen or Wesley Walls. Well, the thing is, Jatavian Sanders really did say he wants to be the next Greg Olsen. And he really might be considered bold or arrogant or brash or whatever you want to describe it for saying that, right? He really is a 4th-round pick that has been through one rookie minicamp and is already putting his name next to the all-time leading tight end in receiving yards. 3rd all-time in any position in receiving yards in franchise history. He said he wants to be the face of the franchise. Or sorry. Face of the offense, like Greg Olsen was. That could easily come across as ego-driven. So I thought, you know what, with Panthers fans hearing that, maybe we should take a dive in. Because I don't hate what he said, as long as he said it for the right reasons. Right? If he's saying, I want to be Greg Olsen because Greg Olsen got so famous that he now gets to be a broadcaster and he's one of the best color guys in television and he's rich and he's looks like he's got his life put together. I don't know about that. Right? I'm sure Greg Olsen drives a nice car. If Jatavian Sanders is saying, I want to be Greg Olsen because of the nice car, that's not it. But I'm going to choose to look at it from a different perspective. I want him to be Greg Olsen if and only if that means Bryce Young is Cam Newton. Right? I want him to be Greg Olsen in his relationship with Bryce Young. Right? I want him to be Bryce Young's Greg Olsen. And here's what I mean by that. Greg Olsen showed up Cam's rookie year. That's when he got traded to the Panthers for a 3rd-round pick, by the way. I looked it up earlier. So only and Jatavian Sanders was the first pick of the 4th round. So very, very slight difference in their compensations coming in. Greg Olsen showed up in Cam's rookie year and was a security blanket for him for the next 9 seasons when healthy. We'll go 6 seasons. Then he started getting banged up.
Yeah, then the foot was a problem.
But he nurtured him, meaning Greg Olsen, nurtured Cam Newton all the way from rookiedom to MVP hood, right? From like childhood to MVP adulthood. He was right there. He was making tough catches. He was moving the chains. Excuse me. Steve Smith, deep balls, right? Ted Ginn Jr., when he could catch, deep balls, right? They had some guys for some other stuff, but Greg Olsen was repeatedly and consistently and dependably over the middle and open. If Jatavian Sanders is saying, I want to be Greg Olsen in that I want to repeatably, consistently, and dependably be over the middle and open with a wide catch radius for a young quarterback that's trying to establish himself in this league and get all the way to MVP hood, I love it. I love it. If he's using a stylistic comparison rather than a quality comparison, I'm all in. Now, I'll also say this. Behind closed doors, I don't care who you chase, right? Saying it out loud publicly sometimes does rub me the wrong way, right? When rookie quarterbacks, and I don't know if he actually ever said it, or we'll use Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen, drafted 10th overall. Mm-hmm. Immediately, 9 teams just made the worst mistake of their lives.
Yeah, I gotta love that guy.
And I'm going like, you know what? Remember the teams, right?
Yeah.
If you want to remember the 9 that passed on you, cool. Love it. If you think they made a mistake, you want to use that as motivation to go prove them wrong, fantastic. Like, make it to a Pro Bowl and then bring it up like I remember the 9 teams. I know Draymond Green can list all the picks above him. I know Tom Brady can list all of the 6 quarterbacks taken above him. There's a lot of – J.J. Watt can list everybody drafted above him. Yeah. There's a lot of guys that can do that, but they didn't come out immediately saying it like after rookie minicamp year 1.
Yeah.
So if a basketball player wants to come into the league and say, I'm chasing, 2 people, Michael Jordan and LeBron, then I'm going like, well, how about you start for your team first?
Yeah.
Let's get the first All-Star out of the way before we start, tackling ghosts.
Yeah, make an NBA playoff. One.
Yes.
Make the postseason and then make a final.
Make a play-in first.
Yeah, do all that tournament first. Nothing wrong with ambition, but
internally, chase whoever you want, right? If you want to put a picture of Michael Jordan on your bedroom mirror every morning, so when you're getting changed, you're looking at it like, that's who I need 6 titles. I'm chasing. That's fine, right? So if Ja'Tavion Sanders is seriously saying like, I want to be the next Greg Olsen, meaning I want to erase him from the record book. I want to have 3 1,000-yard seasons. I want to set the tone for tight ends in a new era. Then reel it in just a little bit. Right? Honor Greg Olsen's work a little bit. But on the flip side, if you're saying, I want to mean to this offense what Greg Olsen meant to that offense, I'm going to work to fill that role and make it so Bryce Young can take the next step, you're A-okay in my book, Ja'Tavion.
Hey, if there's someone to aspire to be for a franchise and in particular for an offense, that's a pretty good model to follow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you know what else Greg Olsen did? Better early in his career than later in his career? Blocked.
Oh, yeah.
Mix in some of that. By the way, I was looking up tight end stats for the Panthers today. Mm-hmm. Wesley Walls is wildly underrated.
Yeah.
The guy played in like 20 or 30 less games than Greg Olsen, had like 2,000, 2,300, something like that, less yards than Greg Olsen. Significantly more touchdowns than Greg Olsen. Dude was a red zone threat. Get him the ball in the red zone, which, by the way, is something that the Panthers struggled with last year, scoring in the red zone. So, hey, Ja'Tavion Sanders, maybe mix in a little Wesley Walls in your game also if you want to, become an amalgamation of all the best tight ends in Panthers history.
Yeah, a couple double-digit touchdown seasons for Wesley Walls.
That's no joke. He's
like dead serious.
No, like he's in – I almost said IMDb page, his Pro Football Reference page with his stats, you can get lost in there. You're like, really? Because I do see occasionally a Walls jersey, and I'm always like, wow, that's a deep cut. Maybe for a couple years it wasn't. It was like, no, actually he's one of the best players on the team.